My sister moved into my house for college and demanded my room as her study space. Then I found out she had secretly dropped out months ago and was planning one last move to drain the family and disappear. I, 29, never thought I'd be writing one of these posts, but here we are. I need some perspective because my family is making me feel like I'm being unreasonable, and I'm starting to question my own sanity. I've been living in my own house for the past 4 years. Yes, my house. I saved up for the down payment. My name is on the mortgage, and I make all the payments. It's a modest 3-bedroom home in the suburbs. Nothing fancy, but it's mine, and I'm proud of it. 6 months ago, my mother Linda, 51F, called me with a small favor. My younger sister Ashley, 22, was struggling with her junior year of college. She was living in a cramped dorm with a difficult roommate, and Mom thought she needed a stable environment to focus on her studies. Could Ashley stay with me for a few weeks until she found better accommodations? I love my sister, and of course I said yes. I set her up in one of the guest bedrooms. It's a nice room, fully furnished, with its own bathroom across the hall. Ashley seemed grateful at first, and I was happy to help. But then the requests started. First, it was small things. Ashley needed a bigger desk for her studies. The lighting in the guest room wasn't quite right. The street noise from that side of the house was distracting. Each complaint came through Mom, never directly from Ashley. 2 months ago, Mom sat me down for a serious conversation. Ashley was still struggling academically. She's pre-med, which is admittedly challenging. And Mom had a solution. Ashley needed the master bedroom. It's quieter, Mom explained. It has the ensuite bathroom, so she won't be disturbed. The walk-in closet would give her space to organize all her study materials, and the sitting area would be perfect for her study groups. I laughed, thinking she was joking. She wasn't. It's just temporary, Mom insisted, just until she graduates. You're a successful adult, James. You can handle sleeping in the guest room for a while. Ashley's future is at stake here. I said no, firmly. It's my house, my bedroom, and I'm not giving it up. Mom left that day visibly upset, and I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. The guilt-tripping campaign began immediately. Mom would call to tell me how stressed Ashley was, how she was crying over her grades, how she felt unsupported by her own family. My Aunt Patricia started texting me articles about supporting family through education. Even my cousin Michael, who I barely talked to, suddenly had opinions about how real men make sacrifices for family. Ashley herself remained oddly silent through all of this. Whenever I tried to talk to her directly about her needs or how I could help in other ways, she would just shrug and say she was fine. But Mom would later call to say Ashley was too overwhelmed to advocate for herself. Last week, I came home from a business trip to find my bedroom door locked. Ashley had moved herself in while I was gone. My clothes were in garbage bags in the guest room. My personal items were boxed up and stacked in the corner. She'd even changed the locks on the master bedroom door. I was furious. I demanded she move out immediately. Ashley started crying. Mom showed up within an hour. How convenient. And suddenly, I was the villain, terrorizing a stressed college student. It's already done, Mom said. Don't make her move everything again. That's just cruel. She has midterms coming up. I told them both they had 48 hours to restore my bedroom or I would start eviction proceedings. Mom called me heartless. Ashley ran to the bathroom crying. The master bathroom. My bathroom. They left eventually, but not before Mom told me I was choosing property over people, and that my father would be ashamed of who I've become. It's been 3 days. Ashley is still in my bedroom. She's added a padlock to the door. Mom has rallied more family members to text me about how selfish I am. My phone is blowing up with messages about supporting family and temporary sacrifices, and how successful people don't need material things to be happy. I've contacted a lawyer. I have the eviction papers ready. But am I really about to evict my own sister? Am I the A here? Should I just suck it up for another 1.5 years until she graduates? I need outside perspective because my entire family is making me feel like a monster for wanting to sleep in my own bedroom in my own house that I pay for. Update 1. 2 weeks later. Well, this exploded more than I expected. Thank you to everyone who responded to my original post. Your comments gave me the confidence to stand firm. And boy, do I have an update for you. First, to answer some common questions from my original post. Yes, I did give Ashley written notice before her stay began that it was temporary. No, she doesn't pay rent or contribute to utilities. Yes, I've been paying for her groceries too. And yes, the padlock she installed was actually a smart lock that she programmed herself. So here's what happened. After reading your responses, I decided to go through with the eviction. I served Ashley with a formal 30-day notice to vacate. I also installed security cameras in the common areas of my house, completely legal in my state, because I had a feeling things were about to escalate. I was right. The day after serving the notice, I came home to find my master bedroom door wide open and 4 strangers in my room. Ashley had invited her study group over. They had completely rearranged my furniture. My California king bed was pushed against the wall to make room for a massive whiteboard she'd installed. My 65-inch TV was disconnected and sitting on the floor to make room for medical diagrams and charts. But here's the kicker. They were eating takeout on my bed, without plates, just directly on my $3,000 mattress. I told everyone to get out immediately. Ashley tried to argue that she had tenant rights and could have guests. I pointed out that even if she had tenant rights, spoiler, she doesn't. As she's a guest with no lease and pays no rent, she has no right to destroy my property. One of her study friends, Kevin, tried to get in my face about interrupting their important work. I simply pointed to the security camera and asked if he really wanted to be recorded assaulting a homeowner in his own house. They all left pretty quickly after that. But Ashley didn't just rearrange my room. Oh no. She had decorated to make it more conducive to studying. This included removing all my personal photographs and replacing them with motivational quotes, taking down my curtains and installing blackout blinds that she screwed into my window frames, setting up no less than 7 essential oil diffusers for concentration and calm, replacing my bedding with her own. Where is my stuff? Still haven't found it. Installing those LED strip lights all around the ceiling. And this is my favorite part, putting child safety locks on my closet and dresser drawers, because her study materials were private. I documented everything and sent the photos to my lawyer. The next morning, Mom showed up at 6 a.m. She had a key. Apparently, Ashley had made her a copy. Mom let herself in and started banging on the guest room door, demanding I stop this nonsense. Ashley's study group is supposed to meet here every Tuesday and Thursday, she announced. You've disrupted her entire schedule. Do you know how hard it is to coordinate 5 pre-med students' calendars? I informed her that she was trespassing and needed to leave. She actually laughed at me. You can't trespass in your child's home, she said. That's when I played my ace. I've been recording our conversation, single-party consent state, and I asked her to repeat the part about having a key made without my permission. She realized her mistake and tried to backtrack, but it was too late. I told her she had 2 minutes to leave her key and get out, or I'd call the police. She left the key, but not before telling me I was dead to her until I came to my senses. The family bombardment intensified. I started getting calls from relatives I haven't spoken to in years. Apparently, Mom told everyone I was making Ashley homeless during finals week. She conveniently left out the part where Ashley has a dorm room she's still paying for. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that Ashley still has her dorm? She's been paying for it this entire time. Or rather, Mom has been paying for it. She just doesn't like her roommate and prefers my house. 3 days ago, I came home to find that Ashley had changed the smart lock code on the master bedroom. I couldn't get into my own room again, but this time I was prepared. I had already called a locksmith to meet me at the house. While waiting for the locksmith, I heard voices inside my room. Ashley had her study group over again. I could hear them through the door talking about their plans for the room. Once we get the Murphy bed installed, we'll have so much more room for activities. Ashley, are you sure your brother won't mind if we use this as our permanent study spot? He's never here anyway. And Mom says possession is 9/10 of the law. Murphy bed. permanent study spot. The locksmith arrived, and I had him remove the entire smart lock system and install a traditional deadbolt. While he was working, Ashley came out and started screaming about me violating her privacy and destroying her safe space. That's when things got interesting. One of her study friends, Jennifer, actually spoke up. "Ashley, isn't this your brother's room? Why are you acting like he's the bad guy?" Ashley's mask slipped. She went from crying victim to furious in seconds. "He has 3 bedrooms, she snapped. "He doesn't need the biggest one. He's just being selfish. Mom promised me this room would be mine until I graduate. He's ruining everything." Jennifer looked uncomfortable. "Your mom promised you your brother's room?" The whole study group suddenly seemed very interested in leaving. As they gathered their things, I overheard one of them whisper, "This is why I study at the library. Too much drama." After they left, Ashley tried a new tactic. Suddenly, she was my sweet little sister again. She apologized for getting carried away. She admitted Mom had been pushing her to take the room. She even offered to pay rent, $50 a month, for the master bedroom in a house where the mortgage is $2,200. I told her the eviction notice stands. She has 2 weeks left. Yesterday, I got a call from my lawyer. Apparently, Mom had contacted him pretending to be me and trying to cancel the eviction. She used personal information to try to verify her identity. Fortunately, my lawyer is competent and called me directly to confirm. This morning, I woke up to 47 text messages. Mom had created a family group chat called Save Ashley's Future. The messages ranged from disappointed to outright hostile. My favorite was from my Uncle Robert. "I never took you for the kind of man who would prioritize material possessions over family. Your sister is trying to become a doctor. You're destroying her dreams over a bedroom." I responded with one message. "Anyone who continues to harass me about my house will be blocked. Ashley has 14 days to vacate. This is not up for discussion." Half the chat immediately left. The other half doubled down. I blocked them all. I'm done being the family doormat. I'm done subsidizing Ashley's education with my home. I'm done being manipulated by Mom. We'll update again after the eviction deadline. Considering the escalation, I'm guessing there will be more to tell. Update 2, 1 month later. I know you've all been waiting for this update, and oh boy, do I have a story for you. Buckle up, because this is a wild ride. First, let me address the eviction deadline. The 30 days came and went, and surprise, surprise, Ashley didn't move out. In fact, she doubled down. The morning of the deadline, I woke up to find a printed notice taped to the guest bedroom door where I'd been sleeping. It was a formal complaint about landlord harassment, filed with some made-up tenant organization. Ashley had apparently decided she was now a legal expert and was claiming I had violated her rights by entering her room without 24-hour notice, changing the locks without informing her, threatening eviction without just cause, creating a hostile living environment. I actually laughed. My lawyer had a good chuckle too when I sent him the photo. But wait, it gets better. I came home from work that day to find a moving truck in my driveway. Finally, I thought, she's actually leaving. Nope, she was moving more stuff in. Apparently, she'd cleared out her dorm room entirely and was fully relocating to my house. I immediately called the police. When they arrived, Ashley put on the performance of her life. Tears, hyperventilating, the works. She showed them a fake lease that she had created, complete with a forged signature. She claimed I was trying to illegally evict her and that she'd been paying rent for months. Fortunately, I had all my documentation ready. The original text messages showing she was a temporary guest, bank statements showing no rent payments, the security footage of her admitting her mom promised her the room, and the eviction notice properly served 30 days prior. The officers quickly realized what was happening. They informed Ashley that she needed to leave immediately or she would be arrested for trespassing. She tried to argue, but one officer cut her off. "Ma'am, you just showed us a forged document. Would you like to add that to your charges?" She left, but not before Mom showed up. Mom arrived just as Ashley was being escorted out. The look on her face was something I'll never forget. Pure rage mixed with disbelief. She actually tried to block the police car and had to be warned about obstruction. Then she turned on me, in front of the officers, neighbors, and anyone within earshot. She screamed that I was a pathetic excuse for a son and that I valued square footage over family. She said my father, who passed away 10 years ago, would be spinning in his grave at what I'd become. I remained calm and asked the officers to please ensure she left my property as well. As they escorted her to her car, she yelled, "This isn't over." She was right. The next few days were relatively quiet. Too quiet. I knew they were planning something. I installed more security cameras and changed all my locks, again, just to be safe. I even had a security system installed. Then, 5 days after the eviction, I got a call from my mortgage company. Someone had called claiming to be me and tried to add Ashley as an authorized user on my account. Fortunately, they failed the security questions, but it was concerning. The next day, I got a letter from the HOA. Someone had filed multiple complaints about me. Noise violations, when unauthorized tenants, ironic, property maintenance issues, my lawn is immaculate, running a business from home. I work in IT and occasionally work from home, which is allowed. I contacted the HOA president, who I've known for years. He told me, off the record, that my mom had called repeatedly, claiming to be a concerned neighbor and reporting violations. He'd figured out it was her when she slipped up and referred to me as my son during one call. But the real circus was just beginning. Last week, I came home to find flyers in all my neighbors' mailboxes. They were Save Ashley's Dream flyers, with a picture of Ashley in scrubs, she's never worked in a hospital, and a sob story about how she was 1 semester away from medical school, but her cruel brother had made her homeless. It included my full name and address. They claimed that I was hoarding housing while my sister suffered. A request for neighbors to stand with Ashley and pressure me to do the right thing. Mom's phone number for more information or to offer support. My neighbors were confused. Several came to ask me what was going on. Mrs. Patterson from next door was particularly amused. "That girl moved in with 7 suitcases and drives a Mercedes," she said. "Doesn't look homeless to me." I was frustrated, but figured this would blow over. Then Ashley escalated to social media. She created a TikTok video series called Homeless Pre-Med Student. The first video showed her crying in her car, her 2022 Mercedes, talking about how her brother kicked her out for no reason and how she was sleeping in her car while trying to study for the MCAT. The video went semi-viral, 50,000 views in 2 days. The comments were split between people calling her brave and others pointing out the luxury car and her designer clothes. Then someone found my LinkedIn, my Facebook, and my Instagram, which I barely use. Suddenly, I was getting messages from strangers calling me heartless. Someone even contacted my employer, claiming I was abusing a family member and suggesting they investigate my character. Fortunately, my boss knows me well and laughed it off. But I'd had enough. I hired a second lawyer, one specializing in defamation and harassment. We sent cease and desist letters to both Ashley and Mom. We also reported the TikTok videos for false information and harassment. But here's where it gets really interesting. One of my coworkers, Jennifer, different Jennifer, saw the TikTok and recognized Ashley. Turns out Jennifer's daughter goes to the same college. She did some digging and discovered, 1, Ashley isn't actually pre-med. She's a general biology major. 2, she's not 1 semester from medical school. She's a junior with a 2.7 GPA. 3, she's never taken the MCAT. 4, the study group she kept mentioning? It's a social club that occasionally studies together. Jennifer's daughter also revealed that Ashley had been bragging about living in a mansion. My 1,800 square foot house is hardly a mansion. And how her brother was totally wrapped around her finger and would give her anything she wanted. Eventually, I compiled all this information and gave it to my lawyers. 2 days ago, Ashley posted another video. This time, she was studying at the library. She was clearly at a Starbucks, and talking about how she might have to drop out of school because of the trauma I've caused. But she made a crucial mistake. In the background of the video, you could clearly see her laptop screen. She was browsing apartment listings in Hawaii, specifically luxury condos near the University of Hawaii's medical school. The comments turned on her fast. People started pointing out inconsistencies. Someone found her Instagram, where she'd been posting pictures of her shopping sprees and restaurant visits throughout this homeless period. The final blow came when someone in the comments turned out to be from her school's administration. They commented, "Ashley, please come see us about your housing situation. We show you as having an active dorm assignment that's been empty all semester." She deleted everything within hours. But the internet is forever. Yesterday morning, I woke up to a long email from Mom. It was a masterpiece of manipulation. Some highlights. "I'm sorry things got out of hand, but you have to understand, I was just trying to help your sister. Ashley may have exaggerated some things, but her stress is real. Family is supposed to support each other, not tear each other down. Your father would want you to take care of your sister. I've already put a deposit down on Ashley's apartment in Hawaii for her medical school rotations. The least you could do is help with the rent, since you wouldn't let her save money by living with you." Hawaii medical school rotations. She's a junior undergrad with a 2.7 GPA who's never taken the MCAT. And Mom has already put a deposit on an apartment in Hawaii for medical school rotations. I forwarded the email to my lawyer and didn't respond. This morning, I got a text from Ashley, the first direct communication from her since this all started. "Can we talk? I know things got crazy, but I really do need help. Mom has been pressuring me, and I didn't know how to say no to her. I never wanted it to go this far. P.S. Sorry about the TikTok thing." I haven't responded yet. Part of me wants to hear her out, but the bigger part of me is done. Oh, and the best part? Mom has been telling the family that the reason I won't let Ashley have the room is because I'm probably doing something illegal in there and don't want witnesses. Because apparently the only reason someone would want to sleep in their own bedroom is criminal activity. I'm considering going full no contact with both of them. The stress, the harassment, the lies, it's too much. I just wanted to sleep in my own bed in my own house. How did it come to this? I'll update again if anything significant happens, but honestly, I'm hoping this is the end of it. Final update, 4 months later. Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since my last update, and I've gotten a lot of messages asking what happened. I wanted to wait until everything was truly resolved before posting again. Grab a snack. This is going to be long. So, when I left off, I was considering going no contact with my mom and sister. Well, I did it. I blocked them both on everything and tried to move on with my life. For about a week, it was peaceful. I should have known it wouldn't last. Mom started using other relatives' phones to call me. When I wouldn't answer, she'd leave voicemails crying about how I was tearing the family apart. Ashley, meanwhile, had started a new social media campaign, this time portraying herself as a victim of family estrangement and sibling abuse. Then I got a certified letter. Mom was threatening to sue me for intentional infliction of emotional distress, breach of verbal contract. Apparently, she claims I promised to house Ashley through college, defamation for making her look bad to the family, and unjust enrichment because I had been enriched by Ashley's presence in my home. My lawyer literally laughed when he read it. He called it the most frivolous thing he'd seen all year and said any judge would throw it out immediately. Still, we had to respond, which meant more legal fees for me. But here's where things took an unexpected turn. Remember Jennifer's daughter who goes to Ashley's school? Well, she reached out to me directly. Turns out, Ashley had been telling people at school that she was living in Hawaii attending medical school. She'd been posting pictures from her medical school life, except they were all stolen from actual med students' social media accounts. Jennifer's daughter and her friends decided to do some investigating. What they found was illuminating. 1, Ashley had dropped out of school entirely at the end of last semester. 2, she'd been using her tuition money that Mom was paying for shopping and trips. 3, the pre-med story had been going on for years, getting more elaborate over time. 4, she told different friend groups different stories about why she wasn't in school, from taking a gap year to work in a hospital to doing research at Johns Hopkins. The girl sent me screenshots of everything, including Ashley's elaborate lies about being accepted to Harvard Medical School, but choosing to go to Hawaii because the ocean air helps her think. I sat on this information for a few days, unsure what to do with it. Then I got another surprise. My Aunt Patricia, the same one who had been sending the articles about supporting family, called me. She'd been trying to remain neutral, but something had happened that changed her mind. Mom had approached Patricia asking for a $50,000 loan to pay for Ashley's medical school tuition. Patricia, being smarter than Mom gave her credit for, asked to see acceptance letters, transcripts, anything official. Mom got defensive and said Patricia should trust family. Patricia did her own digging and discovered everything I already knew. She was furious, not just about the lies, but about the fact that Mom had been hitting up multiple family members for money, all for Ashley's fake medical school journey. It turns out Mom had borrowed $30,000 from my Uncle Robert, $15,000 from my grandmother, $20,000 from my Aunt Carol, and various smaller amounts from cousins and family friends, all for Ashley's medical education. Patricia called a family meeting. She didn't invite me, Mom, or Ashley, just the people who had been giving money. The truth came out, and the family was livid. My Uncle Robert was particularly angry because he'd taken out a loan against his 401k to help support Ashley's dream. My grandmother had given money she'd been saving for her own medical expenses. The family confronted Mom and Ashley together. I wasn't there, but Patricia filled me in later. Apparently, Ashley tried to maintain the lie even when confronted with evidence. She claimed the screenshots were edited and that people were jealous of her success. Mom, when backed into a corner, finally admitted she knew Ashley wasn't in medical school, but insisted she was supporting her daughter through a difficult time and that the money was being used for Ashley's future. When pressed about where the money actually went, Hawaii vacation, shopping, a new car for Ashley, she traded in the Mercedes for a Tesla, spa treatments, and, this is my favorite part, a failed YouTube channel where Ashley was trying to become a lifestyle influencer. The family demanded repayment. Mom said she couldn't pay it back because she'd spent her savings on Ashley. Ashley said she couldn't pay it back because she was building her brand and would pay everyone back when she was successful. My grandmother, who's 82 years old and the sweetest person you'll ever meet, apparently stood up and called them both disgraceful con artists before leaving. Go Grandma! The fallout was immediate. Uncle Robert is pursuing legal action to get his money back. The entire family has cut off Mom and Ashley, and my cousin Michael, who had called me about making sacrifices for family, personally apologized to me. Patricia has been documenting everything in case more legal action is needed. But wait, there's more. 3 weeks ago, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Ashley calling from a friend's phone. She was crying and begging me to help her. Mom had kicked her out. Yes, you read that right. Kicked Ashley out. Apparently, once the family money dried up and everyone knew the truth, Mom couldn't afford to keep funding Ashley's lifestyle. They got into a huge fight when Mom suggested Ashley get a job. Ashley said some things about Mom ruining her life and being a terrible mother, and Mom had enough. Ashley was calling me because she had nowhere else to go. All her friends had distanced themselves after the TikTok drama. The family won't speak to her. She'd burned every bridge she had. Please, she sobbed, I know I messed up. I know I was awful to you, but you're my brother. You're successful. You have that big house. Can't I just stay for a few days while I figure things out? I said no, firmly, without hesitation. She lost it, started screaming about how I was ruining her life, how this was all my fault, how if I'd just given her the bedroom, none of this would have happened. Then she made a mistake. Mom was right about you. You're probably dealing drugs or something in that house. Why else would you be so protective of that room? I'm going to call the police and tell them to search your house. I laughed and told her to go ahead. Then I hung up and blocked that number too. She did call the police. They came to my house, apologized for the inconvenience, and explained someone had made an anonymous tip about drug activity. I invited them in, showed them around, including my perfectly normal master bedroom, and they left within 10 minutes. I filed a report for false police reporting. Ashley was arrested 2 days later. Mom called me from the jail, begging me to bail Ashley out. I declined and hung up. Ashley ended up spending 3 days in jail before one of her influencer friends bailed her out. Last I heard, Ashley was couch surfing and still trying to make it as an influencer. Her follower count has plummeted after multiple people exposed her lies. She's posted a few apology videos that are really just her blame shifting and playing victim. Mom has been eerily quiet. Patricia told me she's been working at a grocery store to try to pay back some of the money she owes the family. She's told a few relatives that I'm dead to her, which honestly feels like a gift at this point. As for me, I'm doing great. I've been sleeping in my master bedroom in my house in complete peace. I've reconnected with the family members who apologized, and we've actually grown closer through this ordeal. I've also started dating someone new, Jennifer, from work. Actually, she's been incredibly supportive through all of this, and jokes that she's grateful for the crazy family test happening early in our relationship. She's met some of my family, the sane ones, and they love her. Oh, and the best update. Remember that family group chat, Save Ashley's Future? Uncle Robert renamed it to Family Fraud Alert and uses it to share updates on his legal proceedings against Mom and Ashley. It's become oddly therapeutic for everyone affected. I've learned a lot from this experience. 1, setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. 2, family doesn't mean you have to accept abuse. 3, the truth always comes out, eventually. 4, document everything. 5, get security cameras before you need them. 6, a good lawyer is worth their weight in gold. 7, sometimes the best thing you can do for someone is let them face the consequences of their actions. I know some of you might think I was too harsh, especially with that final phone call from Ashley. But I've spent years being the family ATM and doormat. I was done. The master bedroom saga is officially over. I won. Not because I kept my bedroom, though that's nice, but because I finally stood up for myself and broke the cycle of manipulation. To anyone dealing with similar family dynamics, you're not crazy. You're not selfish. You deserve respect in your own home and life. Don't let anyone, family or otherwise, convince you otherwise. Thanks for following this journey with me. I'm going to go enjoy a peaceful night's sleep in my bed, in my room, in my house. Life is good. P.S. Mom and Ashley.